Hey, welcome to my video here on should you play Blade and Soul Neo Classic 2024. The long and the short of it is, unfortunately, no. It's not worth coming back if you're someone who stopped playing the game and you're like, man, let me come back and play Blade and Soul Neo Classic. I'll be honest with you, like the thought of like, oh man, Blade and Soul PvP again like it used to be, having the ability to, a bunch more people maybe playing the game, super enticing. Those memories of like, man, what was Blade and Soul like back then? Having multiple servers, so many people playing, being able to queue for arena PvP, 6v6 PvP, um, even like, the Sky Song Island, the one in the sky, which was, I mean, man, I watched some old PvP videos of mine. I was like, God, I'd love to do that again. I miss that. It's been like 2 years we haven't had any PvP in Blade and Soul. But the reality is, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen because NCSoft has zero anti cheat in this game. There are people doing GCD, which is global cooldown abuse, where they can spam skills that they shouldn't be able to spam over and over all day long, doing incredible DPS. Um, People who do that, like especially for musician as a class in the game, I mean, I'm at like 18.5 thousand boss AP. People with like 12k boss AP do as much damage as me. So somebody would literally, I have 50% more boss AP than them, and they do as much damage as me. Like, there's so many classes, there's so many people doing this. Like, I mean, PVE is kind of like people go, whatever, they're cheating. It's dungeons, who cares? But it does impact people. It does like make other people get reduced ranks. It does have, there's consequences to it. Even like the people who are the most whaliest of whales, they all do it. Everybody does it. Man, you can go to my Discord for BNS, for my clan, for everything. There's people there just posting. People do it. It is what it is. And again, for the PvE, you might be like, that's fine, but man, it is going to destroy any PvP at all. NCSoft has zero anti-cheat. There's nothing they do to stop anyone from cheating, anyone from doing anything like that. The GCDs, the um, XMLs, all this stuff. Like, maybe it was like it was less known when you probably played BNS last, if you ever played it before. I remember going to PV arena. Like, not only that, there's multiple cheats. Like 1v1 arena, we all know that got destroyed so much by the people who would have like a no load screen hack. So when you enter the arena, even though you've loaded in, you'll be at your little standing point, and in the middle there's the arena. The people, you would get a loading screen. The game gives you a loading screen for some reason. It's stupid, but there's a hack thing people would have that would, like, I guess remove that or whatever, and they would then just instantly appear in the. They don't have that loading screen. By the time your loading screen is done, doesn't matter if you have a great computer or whatever, they're up in your face DPSing you, and so that ruins 1v1 arena just straight there. So even the gear equalized arena, I mean, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be a mess. PvP will not be doable because there's so many people who cheat now. It is, and there's NC stuff has zero anti cheat. Perfect example is there was an event, like a really fun race event where you would run through this obstacle course and do all this stuff. It was pretty cool. It was enjoyable. It was quick, fun. You could do it on your alts, good rewards, like decent little rewards. It was totally cool to do. What ends up happening? That people have speed hack. The top 200 players for the ranking were all times that were like, speed hack. And so these people, NCSoft did nothing. I think they gave like a couple weak bans to people who were like the biggest, like, had to put in the most retarded times. Other than that, nothing. NCSoft did nothing. Like, there's no, these people still play to this day, and everyone knew they cheated because like their times were like 30, 40 seconds faster than anyone should have been able to do. Um, so yeah, like that's a huge issue there. So like the idea of like, man, I'd love to play just to be able to do arena PvP and to be able to do 6v6 again, 3v3 again. Maybe some open world PvP. It's not, you're not gonna want to do it. Maybe you're someone who's gonna cheat, so you're gonna be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna cheat, so I don't care. I'll just do all the abuses, and I'm just, this is what we're how we're PvP now. Okay, But anyone who wants to play legitimately, who's like, man, I want to play with my skill, no, it's not for you. So BNS Neoclassic, no. Then you're like, well, I want to come back and I want to play for the PVE because the combat's so good. I mean, I've been playing this game for 6 years, 6 years, so 8 years, 8 years since launch. There's not a lot of people who have stuck out that long. Um, I don't whale. I don't spend money on the game. Really, I play for my premium membership. That's it. I haven't charged Gencoin in almost 2 years. Um, I mean, I'm fairly geared. I have pretty decent. I mean, probably my best piece of gear is this Soul right here. But NCSoft puts in paywalls and stuff on so many things. So if you're like looking at this game, you're like, man, do I want to play? Do you want to play? The paywalls they put on things is terrible. Like, look at this. I have plus 16 here, plus 14 here, plus 12 here, plus 8 here. The heart is unupgradable. It's so bad that people will go back to a lower tier heart, try and upgrade that tier to like plus 20 or something, or plus 14 to get 16 to get to 8 or 12. Like you literally have to spend so much gold and money and hope you have the best RNG, because like the lower tier can fail when you upgrade and go back, but it's a bit easier to upgrade up because it doesn't take the super expensive materials, these sterling crystals. Like, just for context how bad this is, I've given up on this for like a year. In a year, I've only saved up 946 of these and 60 of these. So that means I could do not even 2 tries, not even 2 tries of that. And I could do 20 tries of this. Um, it's going to get one try. Well, take a look at this. Take a look at this. It gets me like what? 0.50%, 19.70 to 20. So like 1%. One try is 1%. That means with almost 2 years or well over a year of not having done this, I could get I get like another 20% or whatever. It's appalling. You have to pay for it. They've made so much stuff in this game now that you have to pay for. And you're like, man, well, maybe that's just a bottom row piece of gear. I don't really care if I have plus or high stuff like that. I'm fine with that. Well, you know what? Now you can't even get the top tier diamond, which is the octagonal. Only way to get the octagonal diamond right now is from the trove. So RNG. And you're like, man, oh, I don't mind spending $100 or something, or $200. Well, I rank pretty well. So before this season for the Trove, I had like 30,000 Hongmoon coin. 30,000 Hongmoon coin is the equivalent of, let's take a quick look here. One sec here. Let's just see what that is. Okay. So 30,000 Hongmoon coin is, that's like what? Basically, you could call it like almost $400, almost $400 worth. So in 3 months between the seasons, seasons now are 1 month long, but the Trove comes every 3 months. I usually tend to get from my rankings on my main and my alts about 30,000 Hongmoon coins. So it's about like $400 or $500. So pretty decent chunk. Um, I've done the free 20 coins, 20 Trove keys a day, plus the one free key for main premium, and I haven't seen the diamond. You have to do a lot of keys, but it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that you can't get this gear without paying. There's no way to earn it. There's no way to farm it. There is no more. NCSoft monetization is terrible in this game. So, Blade and Soul Neoclassic, do you want to play it if you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars? Literally, if you're someone who's sitting there and going, yeah, let me go ahead here. I'll spend a couple grand. I don't mind spending $1,000 a month. I don't mind spending $700-800 a month. Okay, cool. Play it. It's the game's for you. But if you're someone who's like, I just want to pay my premium. I just want to play the game. The game's not for you. It's not. It is not for you. You're gonna have a terrible time. You're gonna hit this wall where you're like, I cannot progress. I can't get the gear, and it's gonna suck. The difference between a regular player and a whale in this game is immense. So I'm a fairly geared player. I've been playing for 8 years, almost 9 years. I work up north, so after work there's not a lot to do. So I do put in a couple hours every day. So like, let's just take a look at like some of the top geared players. A good example is Banana Kun and Radiant Neon. These two dudes can duo level 20 of Chaos Yeti. Like it's a end game dungeon, but you can see they have 24,000 boss AP, 24k. That's a lot. Um, dude, I cannot duo stage 16. I can like three man stage 15. Um, you know, maybe the right party three man stage 16. Never mind 20. Dungeons have stages now. It's not to say that NCSoft hasn't done some good stuff with the game, and the game is still a lot of fun. The combat is so good, but it's ruined by so many things. And yeah, Unreal Engine 4, if you were back in Unreal Engine 3 days, it's not bad, but I mean, look at this. There's not a single mob really anywhere here, and I'm getting 35 FPS. There's like no players, no one's doing anything, no skills are going off. You still have to run dungeons. I run them on lowest settings. I run them with other characters turned off. It's still Unreal Engine 4 is still pretty poorly optimized. I don't expect anything better from Neo Classic. It's not going to be any better. They are not fixing optimization. Oh, let's just talk about the fact there is no NCSoft West. There is no NCSoft West. You put in a ticket today, it will be a week before anyone hears from you, before you hear from the GMs. It's a week plus. It's terrible. And a perfect example is wrong system there. It is, you know, the key binding. There it is. Relic system. This is supposed to help people get a lot of power because relics are supposed to give you a bunch of bonus stats and stuff. It has been 2 months that this system's been released. The EU server, it works on there. It's been working since day one. NA server, it doesn't work. Do you know what the GM's response was? It was, please send us a video. We're unable to replicate this error. You know why you can't replicate the error? Because you haven't logged into the live servers ever. Frickin' no one, it works for nobody on the NA server. So it doesn't work for one person. Not one person for 2 months. This is a critically important system that's supposed to be a big difference maker for a lot of people. It means the difference between people who can do, you know, a stage 3 or a stage 4. Maybe now they can do a stage 5. It cannot be under stress that for 2 months it's been broken. From day one it came out, they haven't fixed it. They haven't fixed it. They don't even know it's broken. Everyone on NA, it doesn't work for them. You put a relic in here, it just doesn't. It goes poof. Now your relic's wasted, and you have no stat gain from it. So everyone wasted a bunch of them. Some people are saying, "Oh, well, if you fill them out and you fill them out in the right way, the stats are there." No, there's no stat gain. There's no nothing. It doesn't work. It is broken. And there's no NCSoft West. There is zero NCSoft West. They've laid off everybody. They fired everybody. I don't. If anything breaks in this game, it doesn't get fixed. All the patches are done now by NCSoft in Korea, and they roll out the patches on their time. So for any, it ends up being a like in the late afternoon, evening. So come Tuesday, like if you wanted to play, you won't be able to play. It's no longer okay. The patches are applied to, you know, patches would be applied in the morning like they used to be at like 6 a.m. and come noon, servers are up. So that kind of sucks. But here's the thing, which is you'd think, okay, it's not bad. The patches are applied by Korea. Well, great. That should mean Korea should be able to fix things and issues. They don't. They don't give a shit. They don't care. It has been 2 months. This has not been fixed. 2 months. So if you want to play Blade and Soul Neo Classic, you're saying I want to play a game which is heavily monetized, has a paywall for a lot of stuff. I want to play a game that has no support from NCSoft West because there is no NCSoft West. I want to play a game that is still kind of poorly optimized. I want to play a game that's PvP is going to be destroyed by people cheating. So there's going to be no PvP unless you're going to cheat. Well, go ahead, because like 90% of the player base right now cheats. I don't, but 90% of the player base cheats, and it is cheating. A lot of people go, well, no, this Hello Kitty stuff, this multi-tool stuff is all just quality of life. It's not. You are spamming skills that you shouldn't be able to spam. That's cheating. Just live with it. Honestly, is what it is. I don't care. If you're doing something in the game your tornado bug is just in the game, whatever. But if you have to use a third party program, that's not cool. Um, and it's going to ruin Neoclassic because people are going to be cheating so hard. Like PvP is not it's not going to be doable. It's not tenable. PvP is just going to be a complete mess. And then not just the monetization, the fact that you can't upgrade things, you get stuck on things. Um, they remove rewards from old dungeons. So when a new dungeon comes out, they take the old dungeon out. And before, when the game first came out, you could still, farm an old dungeon. You could be like, okay, cool, I can still, I'm stronger now with the new gear. Let me go back to the old dungeon, farm that dungeon, and get materials and mats and stuff from there. Let me solo a 4-man hard mode to earn stuff to upgrade my gear with. Can't do that anymore. I cannot. This is the older tier accessories. I cannot farm the upgrade material. Um, it's pretty much unfarmable. Like I've not been able to make any upgrades to these. I mean, my newer tier accessories are all plus 17. These accessories I had a lot longer. Only one is plus 17. Like that, it shouldn't be. My upgrades on these have just stopped. So yeah, there's, and speaking of upgrades and stuff, they stop you from progressing on a lot of stuff. Like Battle Pass here, perfect example. There's new soul shields in the game. Never before in this game have we had an issue with soul shields that like you couldn't just go to a dungeon and farm them and get them, or from raids or whatever it was. Now you have to get them from dungeon, but it's a really poor drop rate for the actual soul shields. Really poor. So poor that I only have pieces 1 to 5. Piece 6, 7, 8 I don't have yet, and the fragments you get from them are a really poor drop rate. You're like, man, why is it so low? Why would they make it so low? Oh, because if you buy the battle pass, look at all these. Like I only have 281 fragments. Battle pass reward 300. Oh wait, let's keep looking. Where is there more of them? Is there more soul shield fragments? Oh, another 200. Oh, so I just gotta buy a battle pass. That's what you're saying. Every month, every 2 months, I gotta buy a battle pass, which costs like $40, $50. It's not cheap. Oh, another 200. So they've gated this upgrade material to just be pay for it, which is terrible. The monetization on this game is terrible. Do you want to play Blade and Soul Neoclassic? No, you don't. Unless you're just like, cool, I want to buy the battle pass every month. I want to pay my monthly subscription. I want to spend thousands of dollars on Trove. I want to play a game that's going to have terrible PvP. That's going to be just full of cheaters. There's people who bought in the game, and previously in Blade and Soul, botting, no big deal, whatever. What could you bought? People farmed XP, and if you watch some of my old videos, you'll see where they were all farming a bunch of XP every day, and it took months for NCSoft to do anything about it. They basically just made it so you couldn't get the rewards from that area that people are botting in. Well, now people can bot dungeons. There's like a bot that lets them like run in and out and do the dungeon, and they just run it all night. You can go and the bot will bug up and you'll see them like running into a corner wall because the bot messes up. And it's like, man, look at all these people doing this stuff. Again, if you're like, man, I want to cheat, I want to bot, I want to spend money, I want to buy gold, I want to do all this stuff, go ahead, play Blade and Soul Neoclassic. It's the game for you. If you're someone who's like, man, I enjoyed Blade and Soul, I love the combat, I love the PvP, I would love to come back and be able to play it again with a bunch of other people and check out Unreal Engine 4, no, it's not for you. It's not an advisable idea. It's just going to be terrible. It's going to be people cheating, people abusing skills. I mean, like with XMLs and stuff, like you could like make it so that a skill that needed to be held and charged didn't need to be held and charged anymore. You can spam the same skills over and over that shouldn't be spammable. Like there's zero anti-cheat. There's zero anything. There is nothing that stops people from cheating in the game. And yeah, I mean, if you want to cheat, you want to spend a bunch of money, and you're gonna trove, and you're gonna buy RNG boxes, and you're gonna straight up buy gold, because you do also have to straight up buy gold. Like a perfect example is like, I mean, you're like, oh man, you got 1.4 million gold. You must have a lot of gold. I think you could buy 1.4 million gold for like $200-300. It's people do that because like a good example is like these are upgrade stones. One upgrade attempt for me is 356 stones, or no, wait, that's how many I have, or sorry, it's 110 stones for one upgrade, which is 225 when I use synthesis stones. So 225 of these stones, if you want to buy these, would be from another player, 188 gold a piece. So what's 188 times 188 times 225? 42,000 gold for one attempt, and yet people still buy these. So you're like, man, I don't make 42,000 gold in this game anytime soon. So how are people just buying so many of these? Because they buy gold. Because they buy gold, they can afford to spend 42k for one push. And one push on an accessory is like nothing. Like, take a look. One push, 42,000 gold worth of upgrade material there to get 2.4%. So you're going to have to do that, let's say, like 35 times or so. Let's just say 35 times. 35 times 42,000. That would be to get this to plus 18 with buying those materials. And that doesn't include synthesis stones, which is also a very high value material. Doesn't include any of these. It doesn't include the 1,000 gold per try. That's 1.4 million gold. It would wipe me out. It would actually be more. It would be 1,400,000, 1,470,000 gold. I only have 1,400,551,000 gold. So it's literally more gold than I have to get one accessory from 17 to 18 if I had to buy these from other players. Yet people are buying them. People do buy these. And it's like, man, how do they afford to? Because they buy gold. Because they buy things on F10 and they trade them in to other players for like, I'll sell you a battle pass for like, 500k or whatever it goes for. So, yeah. Like, do you want to play Blade and Soul Neo Classic? I mean, no, you don't. You don't want to play it. It's going to be full of people cheating. It's going to be full of people exploiting. Full of people, I'm not explaining, but people will be doing GCD, XML, multi-tool, Hello Kitty, botting. And so if you want to put, and paywalls, the paywalls on this game just destroy it. Like, I mean, I love the combat. I love the fun. But, like, look at this. This is Soulstone Plains. You used to be able to come here, farm soul stones or soul stones and moonstones. They've just shut it off. They just turned it off, and you cannot come here and farm the materials you need. But you're like, man, then where do you get your tradable moonstones and soulstones from? Oh, where do you get them from? Well, you have to buy the battle pass, and you get a chest that will give you literally 30,000 soulstones if you want, or 3,000 moonstones. That's what you have to do. Every month it's available for you. But whereas those who don't buy it, you don't have any access to this materials. You can't. You can't farm them. And forever you're like, man, I love SSP. I love Soulstone playing. It's so much fun. So many good times. They just shut it off. They make it so you can't farm it. So you're like, oh man. Well, that's a live server. Blade and Soul Neo Classic's not going to be like that. Really? Are you that dumb? Are you that stupid? Because if you are, how are you breathing? I don't know what you're doing. They're going to do this stuff the same. It's just going to be the same garbage NCSoft does. And you know what? You can't really blame NCSoft because it's not their fault. The player base feeds into it. They've done the math. I always say this all the time. They've done the math. They know that if we made this game more of a game where you could farm things and earn things and do things like that, we'd make less money. NCSoft would make less money because they can make more money from people who just trove, people who just buy RNG boxes, people who will buy the battle passes every month. They make more money off that. I mean, like, a battle pass is like a cost of a AAA game. I know people who spend thousands on Trove, which is fine. Like, go at it, have at it. I mean, but the thing is, it shows NCSoft that instead of making things farmable and earnable through gameplay, we make way more money by just putting up paywalls and having people run through those paywalls. We make way more money. I mean, there's a reason why this game's player base is just faded out, because there's nobody around me. It's because anyone who just genuinely wants to play a game, pay their monthly subscription, or wants to like maybe buy some cosmetics here or there. Even if you're someone who's like, man, I love the costumes, I want to, buy the different cool costumes. Eventually, you hit that point where it's like, well, if you're not buying this battle pass, you legit have zero income of moonstones, soulstones, critical upgrade materials, critical materials for so many functions. I mean, you have nothing. You can't farm them. You can't earn them. You're just like, I have a dwindling supply that I'm just burning through, and they're going away. I don't know, man. Like, do you want to play Blade & Soul Neoclassic? The answer is no. You don't. Don't play it. Don't touch it. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to even come play it, for one, and you shouldn't. But should you play Blade & Soul Neoclassic? The answer is no. You should not.